Alrighty, guys. It is Fitness Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about how my objectives have changed in the gym, and then I'll kind of do a little physique update. Although, maybe we'll find that my physique hasn't changed over the last 3 weeks or so. So, I think I've been going to the gym pretty consistently for the last 5 years and some change. And I started I started the journey with the mindset that lifting was kind of going to be an auxiliary activity to get me faster in the pool, stronger, able to pull more water. So I'd say the last 4 out of the 5-6 years that I've been training, lifting has not been my priority, but I've built a pretty solid baseline. I feel competent. I know the mechanics and the movement patterns of all, most of the general lifts, and I pick stuff up pretty quickly, and I can feel, like, I have a good sense of when my intended muscles are working and when they're not working, and then I can modify exercises to engage with that feeling a little bit more, right? So that mind muscle connection that everyone always talks about, I feel like I've developed. That being said, I think I'm getting to a point where I don't necessarily want to get any bigger or heavier, because that makes improving in the other dimensions of fitness that I care about a lot more difficult, right? So the heavier you get, the harder it is to run. The tighter you get, the more muscle fibers you have. The tighter you get, the harder it is to be flexible and mobile. So all those things that are built into the safe training kind of metric, strength, agility, flexibility, and endurance. It's just really hard to be making progress in that when I feel like I'm kind of at the up. Well, I could definitely get heavier, right? Like, I put on weight very easily, so I could easily get to 230, 240, 250, no problem. I just know that it's going to be a lot more difficult for me to put in the work and feel motivated to put in the work in those other areas. So that being said, I think I'm going to kind of stick in my 200 to 250, or not 250, 200 to 210, 215 pound weight range. And I'm going to focus a lot on trying to recomp a little bit, trying to lose a little bit of fat. I said this from the outset. I'm going to be kind of focused on, I don't know if you could really call it a dedicated cut, but, focusing on limiting caloric intake and jacking up, my rate of activity or my energy expenditure. Doing more cardio, walking around, standing up, being more active during the day, all those things, all those little habits contribute to the overall effect of, burning more energy throughout the day. So, like I said, gonna kind of trying to be aiming for this, by the end of this winter. So, February time. Well, I guess I started in August, October. So I guess by December, end of December, end of January, will kind of be a good checkpoint where I can kind of assess, has my methodology been sufficient? Has my adherence been sufficient? All those things. Have I hit my goals? And to that end, goal-wise, I want to be 210 or below. So, February 1st, I want to be 210 or below. What else? Oh, yeah. So then that kind of outlines the, framework of, I guess, weight, what I care about weight-wise in the gym. But in terms of training and actual, skills and that kind of thing, I think I'm shifting a little bit away from, the big three. In the past, I was really chasing, you know, trying to jack up my big three numbers: bench, squat, deadlift, and I injured my back, so I really didn't push the envelope that much with regards to squatting or deadlifting. But I think my best stats were 315 for three on bench. I want to say 465 for like two or three squat, and then 415 for five or six on deadlift. And haven't really stuck with training deadlift. And I just felt diminishing returns in terms of pushing the weight on squats because it just didn't feel safe or sustainable. So, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, a baseline what my goals used to be, right? Improving on those numbers. But now I think I put a little bit more importance on building a well-rounded physique. And to that end, I kind of restructured my training from, the traditional push-pull legs to hybrid. So I was doing upper, lower, and then I just, one upper day would be push focused. So I do more pushing exercises, push the envelope on those pushing exercises, and, incorporate some pull-ups or some rows or whatever as kind of auxiliary stuff, and then vice versa on the other upper day. And that worked pretty well. I felt like I was getting conditioned, and I was developing an ability to recover sufficiently from, a substantial amount of volume. And I started seeing, some gains. I feel like, well, I guess this was also kind of the wrench that gets thrown in, is because this was kind of taking place over the summer, and towards the end of the summer, I took like basically a month off of lifting. One, this is due to laziness, right? I could have been doing push-ups, I could have been running, I could have been, there are workarounds. I could have been creative and stayed active, but I didn't. And so I kind of reset a little bit of that progress. And then in coming back around, end of July, early August, it was just building the endurance to even stick to my former routine. And then October started, and I shifted back to a more traditional push-pull legs, but I reworked how I order my exercises, right? So usually I put, heavy compounds first that use the most muscle groups that kind of fit within, the push-pull legs framework. And then I get progressively more, I isolate, specific muscles progressively as you move through the workout, right? So let's say on a leg day, I'm starting with squats or hack squats, move into curtsy squats, or, I can't do pistol squats, but I could do assisted pistol squats, leg press, single leg press, Bulgarian split squats, those kinds of things. Then I'd move into, leg curls, leg extensions. Then I'd move into good girl, bad girl, abduction, adduction. Then I move into hip thrusts, or booty builder, whatever whatever you want to call it. So that, starting big and then getting, a lot more targeted over the course of the workout is kind of conventionally how I've done things. But in the spirit of really targeting the muscle groups that I care about, I've switched everything, right? So in the beginning of my workouts now, on pull day, I do heavy ass barbell curls. Do 4 sets of that, superset it with some preacher curls, single arm preacher curls, and I'll do 4 sets of that, superset. I literally do probably 12 to 16 sets of like bicep isolation work. I don't know if, a barbell bicep curl is necessarily isolation, because you do get quite a bit of shoulder engagement. I guess you can be, as strict as you the level of isolation is dependent on how strict your form is. And while, my form is good, I'm also not, killing myself over, oh, I feel it a little bit in my shoulders, right? So could be a little bit stricter, but anywhere from 12 to 16 sets of hard bicep curls is how I start pull day. And then I go into, sometimes I superset that with chin-ups too, but then I'll go into some pushing stuff. So I'll do dips or weighted dips, and I'll superset that with either machine rows or barbell rows, right? And I'll do my 4 sets of that, and then I'll go into traditional pull-ups or the lat pull down machine, and I'll do 4 sets of that, and I'll superset that vertical pulling with push-ups. So I'll just do knuckle push-ups to failure. It hurt at first, but now I've kind of got calluses on my knuckles, so it's kind of a fun variation on push-ups that I enjoy. So I superset that with my vertical pulling. And then once I'm finished there, I go into rear delts. So I'll hit the rear delts on the reverse pec deck, or I'll do some cable face pulls. Yeah, and then I'll do straight arm lat pull downs to kind of finish things off, and then I'll do my 30 minutes on the rowing machine. And then on my push days, right, I'm starting with shoulders. I care about, my muscles that I care about are shoulders, biceps, and triceps. That's like what I'm focusing on for this year. So on my push days, it's straight into shoulders. I do heavy ass shoulder press. Recently I've been doing the 90s, hitting the 90s for, sets of 5 to 6. I'm trying to get up to, I want to get up to 110s. I want to be able to do 110s for 5. That's kind of like an intermediate goal that I have in terms of shoulder press, but I'll either do dumbbell shoulder press or I'll do military press, something like that will really work the shoulders. And then I may superset it with cable lateral raises or dumbbell lateral raises. Also do chest supported front raises or Lou raises. I do those in a combination in supersets of 2. So however many supersets I need to, hit, let's say 4 shoulder exercises is what I do. And then I'll go right into either dips or tricep extensions or chest flies, and I'll superset that with pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. And once I've done that, and on the dips, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll do weights. If I'm not feeling good, I'll just do weights when I do dips on my pull day. So I'm trying to get to, I'm kind of around 3 plates. I haven't actually done 3 plates on the dips, but I did 2 plates and 25 for 6 for 3 sets. So I imagine that I should probably be able to do at least 1 with 3 plates. And my kind of intermediate goal for that is to do 5 plates, 5-plate dips. So, body weight plus body weight. Yeah, and then, I don't need to go into the structure of all my workouts, but suffice it to say, I've been targeting shoulders, biceps, and arms. So maybe this is kind of a good segue into the physique update, right? All right, so this is the basement in all its glory, walking into frame. I think my back looks a lot better. I also don't really know how to pose for, like, how you set up the lighting. I just know you're supposed to have overhead lighting, but I guess I probably want the lighting to be, hitting me from in front of my body, so it doesn't look like, I'm an angel coming down from the heavens, so you can actually see the muscle definition and whatnot. But yeah, so this is, my physique 3 weeks later, I'll have to kind of look at that week 0 video that I made and see, do things look different. I think I'm also wearing the same shorts, which is kind of funny. I, Probably one of my favorite pairs of shorts that I have. But yeah, I think the physique's been coming along pretty well, I think. I feel like my shoulders are a little bit rounder, look like they're popping a little bit. I don't know, in the video, I think my arms have also gotten bigger. I think the peak is a little bit higher. My forearms have gained a little bit of size, I think. I've been doing a little bit of supplemental forearm stuff. But yeah, so I think there's been some improvement. I don't know, that could be in my head, that could be placebo, just because I'm feeling like I've been working hard in the gym. And my legs, I feel like, have gotten a little bit smaller, because I used to be very leg dominant. But yeah, so I think got some back definition there. I guess my erectors are kind of my weakness. And then overall leanness, right? Like, I need to be a little bit leaner. And I think that's kind of where things stand. I'm going to continue to prioritize shoulders and biceps, triceps, but I'll also throw in. Oh, yeah, this kind of reminds me. I was fucking around in the gym, and I was looking at the glute ham machines, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in another video, but if I have, you'll just have to bear with me. But yeah, so I was looking at the glute ham raise machine, and you know how you can do, what is it? It's, why am I blanking on this? It's something extensions. Lower back extensions? Whatever. There's some technical name, but basically you get in the machine, you raise your chest up, you can add weight, and you're working your lower back, right? I kind of had this crazy idea to get in the machine the reverse way. So grab the footholds and lift my legs up, way up above my butt, try to get as high as possible and work that the lower part of the erectors. And that really lit me up, and I felt a really good pump. So I'm going to be incorporating that into, I think, after my leg days, because it might be a little bit much on lower back day, or on pull day, but we'll see. So yeah, so I'm just kind of finding stuff and thinking of creative ways to hit those muscle groups that I think are either lagging or that I really want to prioritize. Because I really want to devote this year to developing a well-rounded physique. So I'll be targeting all my weaknesses and making sure that, I'm trying to be as objective as possible and as purposeful as possible with regards to training. So that concludes Fitness Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe if this video, resonated with you at all. And you can kind of keep track and follow along with this series as it progresses. And, leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, those kinds of things. Love talking to you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow to look at the week in review. Stay juicy.